Lasting fat loss comes from simplifying your food. I myself spent years going round that yo-yo dieting cycle of constantly restarting, getting a few days into the week, falling off track, and then telling myself that I'm going to start Monday because I was overcomplicating things. I finally lost 20 kg after years and years and years of going around that cycle when I simplified things, when I made it easier for me to maintain and sustain and build upon what I'd already put in place. If that sounds like you, you're going to want to keep watching this video because I'm going to break down how I did it and how I now use the same system to help my clients lose that weight for good. Step one, you're going to need to know your calories, how much you need to be eating each day or as an average over the week to be able to be in a deficit to lose weight. As I'm sure you know by now, calorie deficit is the basis of fat loss. I would also advise to track your calories. It's not an absolute necessity, and of course you can lose weight without doing so, but I think there is a general lack of education in regard to how many calories are in different foods that we eat. We don't get taught it in school, and I think as a result we probably underestimate what we're actually eating when it comes to the calorific content. So by tracking our calories, we are actually educating ourselves. And that doesn't mean that you have to be super rigid with it. Just like anything, there has to be balance, there has to be a bit of flexibility with it. It doesn't mean tracking every little thing, every single gram. It just means building that understanding and having a structure there to follow. Step two. So everyone's life is going to look slightly different in terms of meal timings, working around the kids' work. Some people like to eat more often, but little portions. Some people like to have bigger portions. These are all things that you need to consider. And it's important that you understand what works for you. And that is the most important thing here, is that it works for you. You'll have people telling you that you need to eat, 4 or 5 times a day in terms of the protein intake. But ultimately, if that's not going to work around your lifestyle, then you're not going to keep it up. As another example, I would advise my clients to be eating breakfast, but ultimately, if it doesn't work for them and their lifestyle, then a fasting approach in the morning may be the best option. So understand what works for you in terms of when you eat, how often you eat, meal portions, etc. Going back to the breakfast example, if you're skipping breakfast, going hungry just because someone said that fasting's the best way to lose weight, then it's probably not going to work for you. You need to align your food intake with when you know you're going to be hungry and when you know you need the energy. So step 3, you've got your calories, you know how many times you're eating each day and when, then you need to build out those meals. And this could be using pre-existing meals that you already enjoy, that are easy to make, that are realistic for you time-wise on stressful days, and ultimately they're foods that you enjoy. Now I don't know about you, but one of the biggest mistakes that I see people making when it comes to their food, when they're dieting, is that they're making too many decisions around food when they're tired, they're stressed, and they're hungry. Having those meals that are easy to prepare, so it's realistic on those stressful days, and that are also foods that you enjoy and give you what you need, that is going to make the difference between you being able to stay on track and you picking up your phone, ordering Deliveroo. Because simple, repeatable meals will always make it easier than trying to constantly think of new ones. Step 4. So you've got your meals in place, but what we need to do now is make sure that you're getting enough protein from those meals. So it's a case of reviewing those meals and making little tweaks just to increase the protein. Now that'll be easier in some meals because it may just be increasing the amount of chicken, for example, that you've got with your dinner, or Greek yogurt that you're having with your breakfast. But we want to aim for around 30 to 40 grams of protein per meal. Obviously protein is huge right now and there's protein products coming out our arses, but there is a reason for that. When it comes to fat loss, protein is going to help keep you fuller, reduce those cravings and help with snacking throughout the day. Where people go wrong is that they're eating a lot of carbohydrates with very little protein, and that's keeping them hungry. And that's not to mention the fact that we want to protect the muscle that we do have, because that is integral to longevity and actually having some shape, some tone when we've lost the weight. So make sure to review and build each meal around protein. Step 5 is just to continue to review. The plan needs to be sustainable for a fat loss phase. So how hungry are you getting? How are you recovering from your workouts? Do you have enough energy day to day? Do you need another little hit of energy before you go into your workouts? Is it sustainable in terms of the foods that you're eating day to day, week to week? And it really is important not to consistently be changing your plan, but just to make small tweaks to the existing one where needed. Because it really is about having that foundation in place that you can build upon rather than just ripping it up and restarting every week. So keep your nutrition simple, and I promise you, you will get results. Knowing your calories, knowing how many times you're going to eat a day, having those meals repeatable, few options that's going to keep you interested and keep it enjoyable, and then have protein in there along with making sure that you are reviewing it and adding things in as and when you need to make sure it's sustainable for your goal. If you do that, as I say, I promise you, you will get long-lasting results and keep that weight off. For now, keep chipping away.